Hi. It's been a long time. It's been like 6 years. Um, I just got caught up in life. Got busy doing things. Last video I uploaded was in 2018. That was a long time ago. Uh, and at that time, I was working at Village Inn. I just had my daughter, my youngest daughter, a few months prior to that video coming out. Now she's 6 years old. Going to be 7 this year. Um, during the Throughout that time, I'd have one more kid. My one and only son. He's 3. So, as in like the family department, I've been very, very busy. And since uh, 2018, I don't know. Pot wasn't even legal back then, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it was in the state of Illinois. So, it's been that long. All right. So, as I said, in 2008, I was working at Village Inn as a cook, as a lead pit cook. You know what the fuck that means. Before that, I was a sous chef at Short Hills Country Club in East Moline. I would then move to Village Inn. After that, I would leave Village Inn and work at another country club. Uh, no, it wasn't really a country club. It was more like a private club, dining club, whatever. Rich and affluent people of the Quad Cities um, went there and ate there and whatnot. So I would get a call around uh, 2020 asking me if I wanted to help open up a restaurant in Moline. Um, I don't work for this place no more. So its name was Aircraft Grill. I was there from day -1 of opening. They wanted to do a soft open, but it turned out to be a full blown thing. Imagine that. As I said, I was working at the outing club, and it it's that. I mean, the outing club is one of those things where you don't meet your heroes type of thing. Man, it left a bad taste in my mouth because of the environment. They said it was such a great work environment and whatnot, and it really wasn't over at the outing club. It was a great work environment if you could. It wasn't about how hard you worked. It was about how well you bullshitted with other people. So there was that. The And what I did there, I was a garde manger chef. Basically, ran that department. Um, Never missed a deadline, whatnot. I got a call in 2020 about opening up a restaurant, like I said, and it was for working for an Albanian family. I went from making $14 an hour. Well, I went from making $14 an hour to making $18 an hour. So I quit the outing club and I started working for that family full time. COVID hit, and when COVID hit, it basically like fucked up the food service industry. Um, Mandatory lockdowns, shutdowns, whatnot. Business really never came back to that location like it once was when we first opened because of the whole lockdownerism and shit like that. I would then work for another restaurant that was successful that was owned by the same family. Um, at the time, because of COVID, he didn't want to shut down. He didn't shut down. But the main employees that were there, they basically just had to talk to the kids about them being ants in the sink because homeowner problems or something. I don't know. So I would work for another restaurant, and I basically came in working my ass off at this restaurant, and I made even more money. I was now making like 19.25 an hour, which that's for the first time in my life making 18, 19 bucks an hour is enough to pay for child support, and it was enough to have a little bit of extra. Um, Ever since I started working at Village Inn, I kind of like developed a pretty moderate drinking habit because Village Inn sucked, um, and the conditions with my mouth and dental issues, liquor was a viable option. So, and basically padding out the stress of the day. This continued into the outing club. This also continued into the aircraft and over at TAP. And I say 2020. I was informed that the aircraft, because I was kind of working at the aircraft and TAP at the same time. I was informed on November 7th, 2020, um, the aircraft was just going to shut down until New Year. And I was basically screwed out of my first job. And that was kind of padding out the hours, so I decided to go full time over at TAP. So I went full time over at TAP. I was basically full time there, anyways. I would only work 1 day a week over at aircraft, 2 days a week. I can't remember. So on November 7th of 2020 or some shit, I got pretty drunk off the bad news. I was working 16 hours that day. I didn't eat anything, and I had quite a few drinks at the bar over at TAP. Me and some coworkers decided to go over to Rudy's Tacos down the avenue of the cities and get fucking pretty blackout drunk. I drove home, or attempted to, and I got a DUI. Crashed my car. Ran from the cops. Busted my head. Totaled my car. Because COVID was a thing. They didn't arrest my ass and take me to jail. I would procrastinate for 2 years, and then I would eventually get my license back. I still don't got a car, but at least got my license back. Getting a car is still like one of those things I'm trying to do right now. I would work for TAP, and then I left TAP because I still like the owner. I'm not going to go into why I left TAP. I just needed to leave TAP because I was starting to get angry. So, I would leave TAP for about 6 months, and then I was working at Red Lobster, and it was the owner of TAP called me. I was working saute over at Red Lobster, doing great, whatnot. Saute, quarterback, fry, broil. He would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm working over at Red Lobster." He's like, "Give me a call when you're not busy." I was like, I didn't really give a shit about Red Lobster because it was a corporate hokey fucking. It sucked. Like, I hate this stuff. Like, I can cook any food, but like the smell of seafood is just fucking disgusting. I mean, especially once it dries, it just smells like rotten fucking pussy. And then he would offer me to come back and to come back for more money, even more money. So when I got hired back on over at TAP, uh, they just were missing a reliable person that could do the job, do it effectively. But this time I came back and I said, I'm not doing any orders, I'm not doing no schedules. So I got brought back over at TAP for 2025 an hour. In the Midwest, that's a very good rate to be cooking at. It's one of those, you're kind of in a league of your own. Uh, and so they pretty much lock down cooks by paying them a large rate there. So I was successfully working at TAP and had a great reputation. Nice guy, but not to be fucked with. Definitely got an angry side to me, but other than that, the aircraft opened back up, and it wasn't doing as hot numbers as it once was. They lost a cook because one of the cooks got burnt out on empty promises and broken dreams. He decided to leave, but I needed to go back to the aircraft. It was my decision if I wanted to go back to the aircraft or not. I would get paid the same, and then basically I would get paid the same, and work more hours. So that was good. That was really good. So I'm making more money. The only time I took a pay cut was when I decided to work for Red Lobster, making like $16.75 an hour. And once the kitchen manager found out how much I was making, she was like, you get paid more than me. I'm like, that's not my problem. It's not my problem that you don't want to fucking negotiate, dumbass. Anybody can fucking fill out an application. So I went to work back at the aircraft, and I worked there for just under a year. The aircraft would switch ownership. The main owner removed his name, but he owned the building. And the other owner, he just wanted to be bought out because he's ready to retire. And so the other owner, the person who was originally going to own her, but she had some ego problem or some shit. When we first opened, because it was supposed to be her restaurant, but she didn't want it. She was like, "Oh, this is lame, blah 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 blah." Like if anybody gives you a fucking restaurant, fucking take it. Gives you a restaurant, yeah, it's fucking crazy just saying that. So they they planned on keeping the original guy that was there that called me when I was at the outing club, and they're gonna basically let me train her husband in a few weeks. Let me go, cut me loose. But the main guy who's owned the building seen what was going on, and he basically said, "My sister don't give a shit about relationships. It's about hers and her own," which I get that. That's fine. It's good. You could be like that. I would take his advice on the first of this year. He said, "Hey, you're going to work for the other side of my family now, and we're going to pay you even more money." It's like, "Oh, all right. What's the deets?" And he told me he's basically like, this guy wants to get out of the kitchen. He wants to enjoy owning a restaurant, not working in it. And so that's the transition period I'm at right now in my career, is basically taking over for the guy I'm working for now. The amount of pay I make right now for the area is ludicrous. Only executive chefs makes a salary on the rate I make. There's only one more step for me right now, is be like, you're on salary, dude. We cannot afford your overtime. Break us. We need. And so basically, that's the update.